book back. Okay. Good. Okay,
Okay, here we are. All right. So we have 6 motions that we're going to vote on. And so I'm going to try to do these as rapidly as possible. And I'm going to ask the board to wake up from their nap real quick and let's see if we can get this through right here, okay? So the first motion is to approve the term of 35 years for the revolving loan, originally approved in November 2021. That is for Hickey Freeman. I need a motion.
I'll move.
Motion to approve, Joe Rizzo.
We need a second.
Ellen,
Second.
Joe.
Robin, did you get that?
No, I got it. I got it. It's Ellen and Dave. We're gonna use.
Okay, Ellen put forth the motion. Who seconded?
Dave.
Dave, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. Now we're getting woke here. Motion to approve $2,021,250 SBA 504 commercial mortgage for the purpose of refinancing an existing mortgage in the town of Henrietta up under the SBA's refinance program. We need a motion.
Chris Johnston, I'll move it.
Second, Phil Smith.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Lynn, will you abstain?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. Thank you. You're
Do we have
abstaining?
an-
She
Before this,
abstained from the loan committee vote. So I think that's a,
did she abstain?
she did abstain from the loan committee vote.
I'm abstaining from this also.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, the motion carries. Third motion here is to approve 440,000 SBA commercial mortgage for the purpose of purchasing property and construction of a building in the town of Penfield. We need a motion.
I'll move that, Phil Smith.
Peter will second, Joe Rizzo. Second, Joe Rizzo.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay. And then the fourth one here, motion to approve an increase of 150,000 to a revolving loan for the purpose of expanding the business operations. And the loan was originally approved in January 2022, and an increase also in May of 2022. Can we get a motion to pass that? To move that?
Can we just clarify, it's a 300,000 revolving loan now, right?
Correct. Yes, thank you.
I'll move that.
We need a second.
I'll second.
Peter will second, Joe Rizzo.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Jeff is abstaining.
Okay. Jeff is abstaining. Make sure that that motion reflects the 300,000
Yes.
as was noted. Okay.
We will.
We want to move to the appointment of CDC manager. Tony Scaraba as CDC manager with signing authority for funding and discharging of the SBA 504 loans in compliance with the SBA requirements effective July 14th, 2022.
Peter will move that.
We need a second?
Second, Dave.
Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And our last motion right here is a motion to approve salary increases and retention payments for the 6 consecutive quarters beginning July 1st of $500 payable at the end of the quarter, 2% salary increases to match the Monroe County policy effective July 1st, and effective the second pay period in July salary for CDC manager and senior underwriter credit analyst salary for the senior operations analyst.
Hanif, I'm just going to interject, and I apologize because we made a change here. In my comments earlier, we mentioned that we're going to hold off to seek this board's approval for increases for the CDC manager and senior underwriter credit analyst and for the senior operations analyst until the July board meeting, retroactive to July 1st.
Okay, so we're taking that out. Let me read it again.
Yes,
Motion
thank
to
you.
approve salary increases and retention payments for the 6 consecutive quarters beginning July 1st. 500 payable at the end of the quarter for 2% salary increases to match the Monroe County policy effective June 1st. That's it, right?
Yes, and I want to put the caveat out there. And again, I apologize because things are kind of moving quickly here. And we just determined this morning that it might be good to tamp the brakes and look ahead to July and have our finance committee conversation. The 2% salary increases and $500 quarterly retention payments. We did work out the numbers with Greg, and that would be in lockstep alignment with what is proposed to be county policy, subject to Monroe County Legislature approval this coming Tuesday. And as I mentioned earlier, MCIDC policy is to mirror personnel policies, pay policies of Monroe County. So that's a separate item. And then the pay increases for our senior underwriter credit analyst and senior operations analyst, we're going to be bringing to this board for approval formally in July. So it might be appropriate for us to table the discussion of the entire salary discussion full stop for the finance committee meeting next week, just to keep things neat and tidy.
Yes, because we don't want to jump in front of the legislator.
Right. And please forgive my haste in getting this on the agenda for today, but as you know, things move fast, and we're all looking ahead to Lydia's retirement with bated breath, and we're trying to move quickly to make sure that we're organized and have a strategy.
Well, Anna, I think it was a good move on your part because you put it in our psyche. So I don't think we can I don't think it's going to get removed. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get removed. So this will be tabled until we have the finance committee meeting, which is the 15th of June. And we'll come back and do that. I want to thank you all for helping us to put these motions through. We did get 5 of them approved. So if there's no further questions, we want to go to the bond project update.
Sure. I just have a few informational notes for the board.
Hold on one minute, Barry.
Sure.
You can bring the staff back in.
Right, I texted them. They're not here yet, so we asked them to come back. I'll text him again. Thanks.
Barry, I guess you can go ahead though.
Sure. Just a few informational points for the board that I wanted to bring up. The public hearings for both ABVI and the Academy of Health Sciences Charter School transactions will be this week. ABVI's public hearing will be tomorrow at 3:30. And the Academy of Health Sciences will be Friday at 2:00. They're both going to be in person at the MCIDC Business Center. And, we will be in it. I will be in attendance and, can update the board if there are any public comments. The other thing I wanted to bring up for informational purposes was for the Academy of Health Sciences Charter School transaction, we've received a request that they market the bonds as social impact bonds. The school, in this case, the Academy of Health Sciences, would self-designate the bonds as social impact bonds. And the purpose of doing that is to increase the marketability of the bonds to a larger pool of investors to potentially get a better interest rate. The Academy of Health Sciences believes that they serve a underserved population and that due to the portion of families that attend the school in the city of Rochester, they would qualify under the social bond principles to sort of self-designate this. Again, it would be done by the school. It doesn't necessarily involve the issuer making a determination. But I wanted to make sure that the board was aware in case they had any questions. We are seeing requests from conduit borrowers to designate bonds as either social bonds or green bonds going forward. And we have done it before on a New York City charter school transaction and in a transaction that we were involved in California. And again, the purpose here is that the underwriter believes that designating this and highlighting the sort of social impact factors could potentially increase the number of investors that would be interested in buying the bonds. And therefore sort of increase the likelihood not only of the sale of the bonds, but potentially a lower interest rate. ESG or environmental social governance factors and investing has been a hot topic lately. And so just wanted to open it up to see if anyone had any questions or concerns or otherwise, I think the plan would be to move forward and allow them to do that.
So Barry, I'm to understand that this social bond designation is something that somewhat automatically triggers itself based upon the demographics that are being served and everything else like that?
Yeah, so the school would prepare disclosure in the offering document that sells the bonds that lays out the reasons that they believe that this qualifies, for social bond designation. And one of the things that they've sort of focused on is the economics aspect, like the percentage of students that receive free and reduced lunch, the sort of social and economic impacts of education and underserving community, which again align with the International Capital Markets Association, which is an independent third party that released a report on social bond principles. So they're sort of aligning with those aspects of the social bond principles to say that they qualify for that designation.
Barry,
Any question? Go ahead.
I do have a question. Does this board have any role in confirming that designation or?
No, we would make sure, obviously, that the disclosure is such that the borrower is taking full responsibility for that self-disclosure and that the issuer is not taking a position on whether this qualifies or not.
Great.
And that's why we're sort of, I tried to mention multiple times, but I probably should have expanded on that. That's why it's a self-designation. The borrower, in this case, the charter school itself, is saying, we think we qualify, and we're not taking a position on that.
And there is some risk to them, right, of doing that, of like the
Yeah.
SEC not agreeing.
Sure. Every I mean, it's in a public offering, right? So every disclosure has to be correct in all material respects. And so if there's obviously going to be some diligence to make sure that what they're saying in there is correct. And the SEC, could look at things if there was, material misstatements in this. But it is a marketing point, and it is sort of a emerging area. There isn't guidance from the SEC yet that says, that puts firm parameters on this aspect, other than the normal 10b5 disclosure requirements.
Thanks.
I'd like to think that there's a movement now to push for equity wherever you can possibly influence. So I mean, if that's what the school is planning on doing by self-designating themselves as a social bond, I think it would be good for all of us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think the concept there is that, it could help on the margins in expanding the potential universe of investors who not only want a financial return, but obviously want to put their money towards positive impact as well. So, when this goes through the process, I think what they're looking for is, if someone's looking to deploy capital and they're looking to invest in this space, and they have two credits that match up, sort of similarly, but this one, identifies itself as a potential social impact bond as well, that this may push them sort of over the edge to get that investment, is I think what they're looking for from a marketing standpoint. I mean, there's no long-term studies or any empirical evidence that would suggest that they will actually get a better interest rate. So I should point that out, but it is something that folks think are more important on a going forward basis. And I'm sure you see everywhere this sort of focus on ESG factors, or environmental, societal, and governance factors as far as investing goes. And this is just another point in that direction.
All right, any more questions for Barry? Thank you for the update. In our other business, Anna and Lydia, you want to update us on the RFP for, what is ARPA? Give me that again.
Yeah, ARPA is what we call it for short, the American Rescue Plan Act.
Okay.
There's a segment of ARPA called the FRF, the Fiscal Recovery Fund. As you all may understand, Monroe County is in receipt of approximately $143 million in American Rescue Plan funds, owing to the federal government's work to bring the economy back subsequent to COVID. An item that came before this board's attention in January of this year, when I was still out on maternity leave, was an idea that we had been incubating, really it was championed by Lydia and Raquel, and at the time Bridget were also involved in the germination of this idea. For a long time, Monroe County hasn't really had a lot of resources to meet the needs of micro enterprise, small business owners, neighborhood business owners, oftentimes in the retail and service sectors. We really, that really flew in our face during COVID when, as you know, this board instituted the Fast Forward Monroe loan and then grant program. It was the first time that we as a team really worked directly with small businesses in the retail and service spaces during a time of great crisis. So the idea came to mind and was proposed to the board in draft form at that time to apply for potentially some of these ARPA dollars in the county in order to administer a ultimately self-sustaining small business micro loan program. The deadline to apply for the funds is July 29th for outside partners. For internal Monroe County departments, the internal deadline is the end of June. Thanks to Lydia's work and Raquel's work and Bridget's work on this effort, we really have all of the information that we need for the Monroe County Department of Planning and Development to put a request forward for some funds. And what we would like to ultimately propose down the road soon is for if we are to be successful in soliciting for these dollars, that the Department of Planning and Development may partner with the Monroe County Industrial Development Corporation on the administration of the lending portfolio. And ARPA's stipulations are that the dollars must be expended by end of 2026. But as I said, what our vision is, what our goal is for this to be a revolving loan fund that becomes self-sustaining, such that MCIDC is the home of the funding. With that, I'd like to once more put Lydia in the hot seat to talk a little bit about the write-up that she had developed and next steps.
Right. So thanks. So at the time, and we mentioned it at a board meeting, it probably was in January, that, we kind of put this idea forward. Obviously, there's a need and we've identified the need. At the time, our vision was about a $4 million loan fund, hiring 2 people. Administrative costs would be totally covered by the fund, so to speak. And that would give us some time and some depth to get it rolling. So with that, we've been given encouragement, I guess is a fair statement, to proceed with, a submission on the RFP side of the fence. So I think it's very doable and feels a need. We'd be looking at micro loan type funds. So our structure might be a little different than what we see, traditionally with our loan committee, but surely we would have everybody involved in the process.
Any questions or comments from the board?
When you say microloans, is there some type of cap?
Yes, there probably would be a cap of 100,000, potentially less. I think the important mission on that is the low end, right? What would be the minimum loan amount be? We have to work on that a little bit, I think. But there's definitely a need. And, even this morning when we spoke with Paul Hoffman, he echoed that there's a huge need for that in that space of, sole proprietors or 1 or 2 people shops. They saw it in the rollout of the PPP loan program with the federal government, that non-traditional lenders came into the market and filled a void because these small shops just don't have banking relationships that they needed to navigate the PPP process. Now, incorporated in this proposal would be some level of technical assistance to these folks, which is really probably maybe what they need more than money. And we would lean on partners, such as Pathstone, such as the Urban League, such as the Small Business Development Center to work with folks to get them where they needed to be.
Okay, is there any more questions from the board? Well, I appreciate that no one took a nap today. We had an exciting board got some things approved. Once again, congratulations to Lydia
Thank you.
for being with Monroe County for 17 years. I've got a lot of small reflections, but I guess I'll save them for the retirement party because
Sounds good.
might not be good for the ears of all the board folks and board people. But certainly when it comes to an acumen in terms of the business that we try to do and keeping Monroe County healthy, revenue driven. I think that the time that I worked at Monroe County and we've seen our economic development being led up by Lydia, we've been in good shape. We've seen the sustainability. We've seen the stability that has come along. We've done pretty good business as a corporation here up under her and the staff. Quite sure she's going to be missed. I'm not so sure that she's going to take phone calls after she retires, because I would advise her against that. But you're going to be missed.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate it.
I just want to thank you for all of the years that we shared personally, me and you. My years that I was at the county. So I'm quite sure you've got a lot of things that you're going to be looking forward to in retirement, and we bid you well.
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time. I think we're going to be live. I don't think the governor can keep extending these Zoom meetings. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we will find out next week.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to be in person if we are. We will certainly keep you all posted on the rules as they come down.
Right. Yeah. Well, listen, everyone have a good day. All we need is a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that. Phil Smith.
Second,
Second, Joe Rizzo.
Joe Rizzo. Okay.
Congratulations, Lydia.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.